Alright, we are getting started. So, everybody got the warm-up right, except Jason was gone, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I wasn't here.
Who got it all right?
Everybody who answered so far.
She texted me.
Alright, so I need headphones out.
Hey, where's my sweatshirt? Where's my sweatshirt?
Never that.
Okay, so yesterday we found our greatest common factor. Today we're actually going to be using that. So today is I probably should have taken yesterday's lessons and today's and just combined them, but I didn't. So I guess it's 2 easy days for you guys. So the GCF is the biggest number that goes into every term. If we find the GCF, we can take that out of every term. And we're going to factor it out. So you remember how I talked about this yesterday, but we didn't actually do it yesterday. Remember how we distributed? And I said factoring is the opposite of that. So we are actually doing that opposite part today. Moses, turn around. Quit messing with that.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to find the GCF of 12x to the 4th plus 3x squared plus 6x. And then we're going to factor it out. So actually this was our warm-up. So let me go over here. We'll do it on our warm-up. So if you can just look at it and do it, great. If you're not that good yet, we're going to make our lists. So I'm going to take 12x to the 4. How can I split up 12 to be something times something?
3 times 3.
What?
What?
4 and 3.
Oh, I thought you said 2 and 3.
3 times 2.
4 times 3, right, is 12. But 4 is really 2 times 2. We want to split it up as much as possible.
You made me
And then how many x's do we have?
4.
4 of them. So 1, 2,
That's a
3, 4.
Yeah,
Alright.
I forgot to do it.
And then that's it. Next, I got 3x squared. I know I was being lazy. How can I split up a 3?
3 times
3 and 1.
3 and 1, right? I can't really do anything with that.
1.5.
And then, how many x's do I have?
2.
Alright, the last one, 6x. How can I split up 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3, right? That's a terrible 3. I'm not going to go with it. And then I got just 1x. What shows up in every list?
3.
3 and
27.
an x. Not a 27.
Okay, so if you were to have like 2 x's in each one, would that make an x to the power of 2?
It would make an x to the power 2. Yeah. Because x times x is x squared.
Is that what's going to be in our next lesson?
We might get it a little bit in this lesson. Alright, our GCF is 3x. So it's the same problem here as our first example. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to factor out our greatest common factor from this. And so there is 2 steps, basically. Let me see if I can just get a little bit more space here. So I can write it, because I can't write as small as you guys. So, to factor out the GCF, we have 2 things. We're going to put our original polynomials, remember this thing here is a polynomial where we add or subtract things together. I'm going to put in parentheses. And I'm going to put my GCF on the outside. So we are starting, you know how if I had something like this, we would distribute it in? So we are starting the opposite of that. So I'm going to put my original parentheses, put my greatest common factor, 3x on the outside. And then inside this parenthesis, I'm going to take every single thing, and I'm going to divide it by 3x. So I'm going to divide everything on the inside by 3x. And I have to go through and actually divide it. Once I divide it, I'll have my final answer here. So my 3x is right here on the outside is going to stay outside there. I'm going to have 3x. Then I'm going to have parentheses. And then I have 12x to the 4 divided by 3x. What's 12 over 3?
4.
4. Just 12 divided by 4 is 3, right? If I have x to the 4 on top and x on the bottom, how many x's do I have left? Or what's x to the 4 over x? No. Alright, we got to think back to the last chapter. What do I do when I'm dividing with x's and variables?
Subtract.
Subtract it. What exponent does this have right here?
1.
What's 4 minus 1?
3.
3. So I got 4x to the 3.
I wasn't paying attention.
Alright, I'm going to keep going. Plus 3 over 3 is 1. And what's x squared over x?
3.
No,
Oh, I mean, the exponent is going to be
that's not 3. Because you're subtracting, not
I
adding.
know.
2 minus 1.
Oh, it's going to be 1.
It's going to be 1. Or I'm just going to write it as x. I could write x to the 1. This isn't wrong, but it's more to write, so I'm going to be lazy and not write it. Except I just did. But next time I won't. And then I'm going to keep going. Plus 6 over 3 is 2. And what happens with x over x?
Squared.
They're gone. They just cancel out. They're gone. So I just have a 2. And this is actually a final answer. That's it. So, one thing to keep in mind though, when we are factoring here, don't leave out your first term. Your GCF always has to be out in front, outside the parentheses. And then on the inside, you have to actually go through and divide. So we're just going to practice going through and doing that. So we are going to look at 15x squared minus 10x plus 5. So we're going to go through and find our greatest common factor first. Whenever we factor like this, we always need to find our greatest common factor first. And then I got 10x.
Take a wild guess and
and
say
then I
it's
got
5.
Alright, 15 is 3 times 5, right? And then I got 2 x's.
10 gold stars.
I got 10x is 2 times 5, and then I got an x. And 5 is 1 times 5. Alright. What's the only thing that shows up in each list?
5.
5 shows up.
Say that next
My greatest common factor is 5. So, I'm going to take my original polynomial, 15x squared minus 10x plus 5. I'm going to put my greatest common factor outside of it, and then inside, Magi, what did I just say?
Yeah, what did you just say?
Attention.
That doesn't mean you guys get to talk after I tell him to stop talking. You're just making it worse.
Yeah.
You're making me not want to let anybody else to be there. Okay. So we put our greatest common factor outside parentheses here, and then inside this parenthesis, my original polynomial gets divided by my greatest common factor. And I'm going to keep that 5 on the outside, like that, but the inside is what's going to change. So I'm going to go 15 over 5 is 3, and then I don't have any x's or anything, so it's just going to stay x squared. Minus 10 over 5 is 2. I don't have any x's other than that 1, so it's going to stay an x. And then plus 5 over 5 is 1.
I thought you just cancel it out.
It would be, but it cancels out to 1. So, like on this last problem right here, it canceled out, but I still had a 2 left over, because 6 over 3 is 2.
No, I mean when you have to, when it's just 10x divided by 5x.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's 5, not 5x. Because our greatest common factor is 5. Because this thing right here does not have an x. There's no x right there. So I can't do 5x for greatest common factor. My GCF in this one is just 5.
Wow.
Alright. Not too bad so far. I think you guys want to try one on your own? Or you want to do another one?
Yes.
Alright. Let's try one. Let's actually, let's do this one. I want you to factor 12x to the 4th minus 6x third plus 8x squared minus 16x.
Okay, I already forgot how to do it.
Good. So on your own, on your paper, factor that, find the greatest common factor, factor it out. If you can find the greatest common factor just by looking at it, that's fine. You don't have to make your lists. I'm not going to require that because on some of these they get pretty easy, so you don't have to do the whole thing.
That's funny movies. Just found out already. Just found out already.
I didn't even know who he was. I think I know his name, but I didn't know.
That's
Oh, nice kid. Everybody always forgets to do that for some reason. Shut up.
Good. Give you a couple more minutes. We're going to have somebody do it on the board. Make fun of somebody's alien, right?
Let's just go home.
Me? Maybe. Are you sure?
Wait, go pee.
Alright, you go keep.
I said maybe.
Loki, why are you
Oh, we're
talking?
not doing this one?
Because you talk a lot.
Okay.
Oh,
Come on, man.
Yes.
Although you forgot splitting this up to be 2 and 2.
Yeah, I see Andre
Oh,
keep looking at me and he's talking about bullying. Can't look at me.
Yeah, it's still 2.
I was about to say, man, what you looking at?
That actually would be 2 though, right?
Just 2, yeah. So remember, you gotta split these up as much as possible. So that should be a 2 times 2. That should be another 2 times 2.
But then, well, I get roll that
Well, you just might not get your greatest common factor. Because greatest common factor is the biggest
time.
number
Do we
that goes
have
in
to
every.
simplify it? Like, this is easier. You're playing cocky like it. Okay, so then we go like this, 2, then we do plus x. Oh, I see. Alright, I was like, wait, what? And then minus 6. And then plus 8x.
Don't we solve it or do we
And then we go like 2.
Right there.
2x.
Right there.
Why do you have to put your 2x?
You just got your greatest common factor.
Ah,
Just 2.
Oh,
Two X.
so okay, 10.
Keep going. And no,
Wait,
actually
but I
divide
get
it.
this right? Triangle.
Which one?
Oh, what is this?
2 times 3 is 6. It would be another 2. 2 times 3 is 6, right? Times 3 is 8. Because 8 is 32. Yep. Yep. Looking pretty good though. It's looking pretty good on here. Don't forget, put your final answer here in parentheses. And put your 2x out front. So the 2x stays out.
Don't touch my hair. Sorry.
And then you forgot to do x over x cancels out. It's just
Can I go now? Can I go now? I know how to do it.
okay.
I know how to do it, Mr. Okay, I know how to do it. I did it. I did it.
Oh, good. Made up for when you were sick.
Oh, good. Wowzers.
Well, it was quieter when you were gone.
It was way quieter.
Everybody's here.
Not that much quieter.
It's a lot more dull, Mr.
Let's
Like
keep in
50
mind.
times
I bring the
quieter.
spice to the class.
Did you pass some social
Yeah.
You what?
Yeah, that's right.
What are your more powerful nations for the answer to this?
I'm the fun uncle.
I mean,
If you're still working on it, keep going. I know it's still a couple people are still working on it.
Really?
You forgot x over x is.
Oh,
This is the only class we have together now.
Yay!
We had US history.
Chosen you.
Alright, Meadows, can do this on the board. At least actually write your GCF to get us the
And then
final answer.
this class.
You don't have to write everything, just your GCF thing and final answer.
no, we have ELA.
We had science and then.
It's a little off, I know.
We had
ELA with me.
Yeah.
He's not in our ELA.
No, he used to be this one. For the first semester,
Yep.
me and James had
Yep,
5
it's
classes
2x.
together. Now we have
And then
one
it gives
class
your final answer, Dodo. Why is GCF so big but that
It's
tiny?
the only class.
Shut up!
I just want to
had
read.
every class.
Start
with
playing
you.
it.
That's how you ninja.
Alright, keep going. Keep going, you're good.
Dang.
Alrighty, I believe I've got.
Luis, what did I tell you?
Loki!
Just used to say it to Luis.
Is that an 8 at the very end there?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure.
strictly
Alright, so we get 2x and then parentheses, 6x to the third, minus 3x squared, plus 4x, minus 8. Nice job. So don't forget, your final answer, when you take out your greatest common factor, has to have the parentheses and 2x. If you don't have it, you were only half right, even if this speech is right. Alright, pretty good. So, for your exit ticket, I thought I'd make it fun and exciting.
Wait,
Do
we're
something
not gonna
random.
solve it?
No,
What the heck?
you're not solving anything. All you're doing is factoring.
Like this. See?
Yeah. And then you gotta put this in parentheses.
What the heck? So that's
After you divide, so this is your answer.
But I just did that.
Yes, and you gotta keep the 2x out. Because you're factoring. It's the opposite of distributing. So I want something outside parentheses. So I'm doing the opposite of distributing.
What is it, Rocky?
So this is right, but your final answer has to have the 2x out first.
So I could have just did this and I would have been the answer.
You would have to actually divide.
Wash it down.
That'd be
Hey, stop. Alright, we're gonna get your exit ticket here. Going with some random numbers. Let me make sure these work. Here though.
66. Watch the last one be 6.
This is boring. No, we're gonna get a better number here.
That's gonna be 6.
Oh.
It's gonna be 6.
Oh.
Get out of here. You know what?
Alright, it's
Are
gonna
you
be.
trying to get 6?
It's gonna be number.
I just don't want to.
Oh!
no.
Say
Look,
that.
you're trying to get 6.
Numero del Diablo.
What does that mean, Luis?
Luis.
Why does it have to be 66?
Because it's fun. Fun and exciting. Alright, do your exit ticket.
God, go keep.
I didn't know you could speak
wanted it to be
Mexican.
6, didn't you?
And that's phrased a little racistly, man.